Hello and welcome to Caesar Snack Sandwich. Today I have a really quick video for you on MaxAPY. Now the team from these guys, they reached out to me a little while ago to kind of show me this and put this on my radar. I don't really know who they are, but I did talk to them and they seem like cool guys and they have a nice plan here, or a nice protocol here. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, so I don't have a flow chart for you, but I will jump around through the front end and kind of point at stuff and speak on it. As always, I've read through the docs. I would suggest you to do the same, get a deep understanding of what's going on here and understand what's the risks. I would really highly suggest you to spend some time on the strategies pages and kind of go through these strategies and understand them. So I will talk a little bit more in depth on this in the future. Hey guys, I want to take a quick moment to highlight Rise testnet. Rise testnet is live. As some of you may know, I'm kind of helping them out. I would highly suggest you come and check this out. There are some apps here you can kind of play around with. On the homepage you can get some tokens. You can try this backup faucet if you find that this isn't working, and you can see the TPS and some stats here, gas per second, shred interval blocks, and you can see it is performing pretty well. Come and check it out. I would highly suggest everyone who is looking for a little extra to come and try these apps out. It's not going to hurt you, and there's probably going to be some benefit in the future. So there are quite a few here to give it a go. Just get some tokens, send some transactions, and give some feedback. Okay, thanks. So let's go through and kind of look at what's in the front end here, what you can and cannot do. So basically, right now on the front end, you can deposit on Base, you can deposit on Ethereum, and what's the other one? And Polygon. However, this is kind of like a version 1 type thing, where version 2 will be you can deposit on like many different EVM chains, and it'll all just kind of, they'll take care of everything for you. So you don't need to bridge to Base and deposit. You just deposit from anywhere. They'll bridge it for you. They'll deposit it on Base, and then what it does is it takes those assets and it puts them to different yield strategies. So let's open up the USDC Vault first and kind of look at this USDC Vault. So if we open it up, let's go to deposit. And there's a few things we can look at here. Okay, so currently the APY is 7.8% or 7.9%, sorry. And of course, this is going to change up and down. It's going to do different things as more TVL comes in and TVL is changing and stuff like that. But anyhow, so if we come down here, we have fees. There are different kinds of fees. They have a normal like management fee. This is assets under management. But I will say that like this management fee is not hard coded to 2% all the time. Sometimes it will be less than 2% for reasons like, for example, if they deposit in your assets into a farm that charges 2%, then they will charge 0. If it goes into a farm that charges 1%, then they will charge you an additional 1% to keep it at, like, it will never be more than 2% assets under management. There's a performance fee as well of 20%. So this is where they take 20% of the profit. And that's pretty standard. Like if you go to Beefy or Yearn or anything like that, they're all doing the same kind of 20%. However, they have this hurdle rate. Now, what this hurdle rate is like, basically like what T-bills are at right now. They have a number here that's 4.2%. So if the Vault, for some reasons, APY goes below 4.2% because the farms are all dried up, then they won't charge any fees. They'll reduce the fees to make sure that you're at least getting that hurdle rate of 4.2%, or they're charging you nothing for the service, which is very good. So if you look right now, we see we have allocation of 3 different farms right now. So this USDC is currently sent to these 3 farms, and there's a tiny bit unallocated, so for withdrawals and stuff like that. And if you look at the strategy assets, it's always going to be like pretty much one asset right now, because they don't want to take on like impermanent loss and stuff like that. So like it does say strategy assets, but I'm pretty sure it's going to always be one. But there could be some other assets, like maybe like of a USDC, or maybe they farm a little bit with like Tether or something like that. And if you do look at the other vault, if we go here and we go to MaxETH and deposit, and go to the strategy assets. Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of RS ETH in there as well to make up some of that yield source. Okay. So it's pretty cool. Let's swing over to the docs and kind of, like I said, I did say you should kind of check out the strategies, because if you deposit into these vaults currently, they are built to handle all of these different possible strategies. So as you can see, there is DAI here, so they might use the USDC deposit to buy some DAI and then put it in Aave in this case. So there's a very good like list of all of the possible strategies that you might be exposed to. So there's a lot here, so I would definitely like consider this carefully and think about it, because if your assets are sent there, then you are under that risk. However, if you go through this list and you kind of look at it closely, you will see that most of it's pretty high quality stuff, but there are some stuff in here that I haven't heard of myself that might bring on some risk that you're uncomfortable with. So there's a lot of strategies here, but like I said, they're going to only select the best ones. So they have obviously, let's see what it says here. Yield, where's the yield? They have, like, you can read through this and you can kind of see like they're not going to send the assets to just like degen, like high inflation farms where they're farming some shitcoin and USDC and stuff like that. They're going to maintain the capital, but there is a possibility of like some losses in there. But anyhow, so they have a very robust algorithm, so they say, that really decides whether or not assets should be moved. Now the assets are also being moved across chains. Like if we go to these strategies, let's go back to that strategies pages. Oh wait, where is it? Here, strategies, and we go down. You can see that does it say the chain on here? Chain, yeah. So you can see that the chain is here. So they're going to send the assets for you to Polygon. If the vault decides to use this strategy as a source of yield for your USDC deposit, then they're going to send the assets to Polygon. They're going to auto compound those yields there, and if you want your money back, you can withdraw from anywhere as well, from Base and so forth. So you could withdraw your assets from Base and they will pull the assets back from Polygon if need be. Now, of course, these type of things, they have costs. Like if this protocol is going to, you're going to deposit USDC and they're going to bridge it across to Polygon. They're going to swap for DAI and they're going to deposit DAI into some Aave farm in this example, right? And then if you were to immediately try to withdraw, then you're going to have some loss, because there's cost of bridging both ways. There's cost of swapping to DAI. So, it's not something you want to like hop in and out of all the time. However, they do say there are no lockups. So if you do want to withdraw, then you can withdraw at any time. Now, that's pretty much it. Like, this is not a very complicated process that really needs a lot of explaining. The benefits of this is that you become completely like hands off. You don't need to monitor this. You don't need to like watch different chains APYs. You just let them handle it, let them do it. This is a place for people who want to put some capital into these vaults and kind of like long term just like leave it there, I would say. Now, again, only put in capital that you're willing to, risk on these strategies, because there are a lot of strategies here, and I've even seen some names in here that are possible, like that have been like, exploited in the past and stuff like that. But I'm not going to finger them out, but you can kind of dig through this and really read through this and see if you're okay with that. But I do like the fact that they are, curating this list every day. They're going through, they are doing research, they are checking for farms, they are seeing, are these farms audited? You can go through the security part here and you can kind of read all the things that they consider when they are doing, like, adding a strategy to the list of possible strategies that these vaults might take on. So I think it's pretty interesting. It's definitely worth a deep look and deeper out, like little more research on your behalf, and whether or not you want to kind of put put some assets in there. Now, you might come in here and be like, hey, you know, there's, you know, they have 61 ETH deposited here getting 0.94. Why don't they just send it all here, right? Like, this is 40% APY. Well, the thing is about this is that there is like added risk as well as like costs of deploying the capital to these strategies, as well as costs of bridging and stuff like that. So they have to kind of their algorithm will take into account all of those considerations of, you know, will they be if they were to put this 61 ETH into this strategy here, they would be diluting it quite a bit and reduce that APY quite a bit. So take a look at it, you know, monitor this and consider if this is something you're interested in. I don't have any skin in this game at all. I'm just kind of sharing something that I found that I think is pretty interesting. You guys who know me pretty well know that like I'm a hardcore APY farmer. This is my bread and butter. I love to yield farm. So I'm going to consider using these protocols, especially when they become a little bit actually more what the vision is of being fully any chain, anywhere. You can deposit from anywhere and they will take care of everything for you and you can withdraw from anywhere. So right now, I think you would have to go to Base or go to Ethereum. Well, actually, yeah, you would have to go to Base and deposit on Base right now if this is something you want to take part in right now. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. I hope this is interesting and goodbye.